I'm going to help turn your boring, messy desktop into a nice, clean, minimal desktop like this in 5 easy, simple steps that anyone can follow. My name's ProdiJay, and let's get right into it. Alright, step 1, we gotta clean that messy desktop of yours, especially if you tend to constantly drag and drop files or keep all your games on the desktop, which is honestly just clutter. But no worries, I got a simple solution for you. Start by right clicking on your desktop and hover over View, then uncheck Show Desktop Icons. This method is super simple as it hides all the clutter. But don't worry, you can still access your apps and folders in the File Explorer in the desktop section, or you can use the Windows search feature on the bottom left. And trust me, this is way better than just dragging everything to the recycle bin and possibly deleting important files. And the best part, you can easily reverse this hidden icon method whenever you want to. After cleaning the desktop, it's time to clean our start menu as well. Now, instead of using the default list to scroll and search for apps, I actually prefer a more simple look. Start by right-clicking the apps you use most often and click Pen to start. From there, just repeat for your other most used apps and organize them as you see fit. For an even cleaner look, go to your start menu settings by searching Start Settings, then uncheck the unnecessary options but enable Use Start Full Screen. This setting will display your pinned apps in a nice full screen mode when you click the start menu, which this is kind of reminiscent of the Windows 8 desktop but much cleaner. And since we hidden the icons on our desktop, we can easily access them from here and be able to organize the apps into groups just like I did. But if you do prefer the default list view, simply turn off the full screen mode and re-enable the app list back in the settings. Also, little bonus tip, to change the app folders and icons, just right click and open the file location, then drag the shortcut into Programs. You can then delete the folder, ensuring a clean list with just app icons, and you can repeat this step as needed, but personally I just prefer the full screen method. For step 2, let's focus on cleaning up the taskbar. First, right click on the taskbar and uncheck any extra buttons like Cortana or Task View as they only add clutter. Next, we'll need to get rid of this big search bar by right clicking on the taskbar, going to search and selecting Show Search Icon. This will give us a minimal search icon that's less distracting. Next, to make your taskbar cleaner, unpin all the unnecessary apps, but make sure to keep the ones that you use the most. And I recommend not going over 10 icons as having more will start to look cluttered, but of course, it's really personal preference. Also, clean up the badges on the bottom right by dragging any unnecessary ones into the hidden icon folder. For me, I just keep my volume map to keep it simple. Next, right click the taskbar and choose Taskbar Settings. Then from here, you got a few options to explore, like hiding the taskbar in desktop mode or using small taskbar buttons. If you like these options, feel free to enable them, however personally, I prefer to keep my taskbar always visible, so I only enable the small taskbar buttons. Aside from those settings, go to Combine Taskbar Buttons and set it to Always Hide Labels. This will display your apps as icons without any text, saving space and creating a cleaner look. Now for step 3, let me show you how to center your taskbar icons for a cleaner look. If you're using Windows 11, this is going to be pretty easy for you as you can change the alignment in the settings. However, for Windows 10 users like me, here's a simple trick. Right click on the taskbar and unlock your taskbar by unchecking the Lock Taskbar button. Then, go back into the taskbar settings, go to Toolbars at the top of the list and click Links. After that, grab the bars next to links and drag them all the way to the left to push your icons to the right side. Then, you're going to continue dragging the bars to the left side until your apps are centered as much as possible, which might need some eyeballing for some accurate alignment. Once centered, right click on Links and uncheck Show Text and Show Title, and finally lock the taskbar. If you follow these steps correctly, your icons will be centered just like in Windows 11. But after centering the taskbar icons, let's make it even cleaner by making the taskbar translucent. Go to the Microsoft Store and download this free app called Translucent TB. After installing the app, your taskbar will instantly become transparent, but you can further customize it by right-clicking on the new badge in the hidden folder, and you'll have more options. For me personally, I like having my taskbar be clear when I'm on my desktop, but I set it so my taskbar is normal when I'm in a different window or I'm full screen. So customize it how you see fit, and if you ever decide to remove this app later, just simply uninstall it and restart your computer. Now step 4 is the fun part. Let's talk about wallpapers and color customization, as this is where you can truly make your desktop reflect your style and personality, which you do have a few options to choose from. You could go for a static wallpaper from websites like Google Images, or for something cooler and more dynamic, you could get an animated wallpaper since they are a popular choice, which I can recommend 2 options. The first option is Lively Wallpaper. It's a free open source app available on the Microsoft Store, and it comes with a decent collection of live wallpapers which are pretty good. However, if you want something unique, you could even upload your own file or set a YouTube video as your wallpaper. All you would do is find a cool wallpaper loop on YouTube that you like, copy and paste the URL into the app, and voila, you have a custom animated wallpaper. The second option, and my personal recommendation, is Wallpaper Engine. This is a fantastic software on Steam, being a popular choice for many and only costs $4, which at this price you get access to over 1 million animated wallpapers from the workshop, which are made by other people, and you can even create your own animated wallpapers. Not to mention the fact that you can even customize most of them, allowing for endless possibilities to suit your taste. For this video, I'm going to use one of my favorite wallpapers called Astro Neon, as I want to go with a purple theme, plus it looks pretty clean. And I'll make sure to link this wallpaper as well as some of my other favorites in the description down below. After picking out your wallpaper, it's time to customize the colors of your desktop to complement the new look. Head over to your settings and go to the colors section, and you can just type colors in the search bar to find it. Now from here, it's all about personal preference. I prefer having a dark theme, but you can use a light theme if you prefer it. I also prefer using transparency effects, which gives a subtle effect for our windows, and then for our accent color, I would just say get creative, as it's really just gonna depend on your wallpaper. And if you have a static wallpaper, you can enable the option to automatically pick an accent color for you, but this will not work for live wallpapers like mine. Since my wallpaper has a purple theme, I'm just gonna use a shade of purple for my accent. And finally, for step 5, let's add some extra style to your desktop by customizing your cursor. And there are 2 ways you can do this. The first way is through Windows itself. Type mouse pointer into the search bar to access your mouse settings, and from here, you can change the appearance of the pointer by changing its size or even using a custom color. Now, while this method offers basic customization, I prefer the second way, which is downloading a custom cursor online. In this video, we're going to use DeviantArt, as you can search up free mouse cursors and pick the one that you like. And if you check the description for this video, I will leave links to my favorite free cursors, including this one on screen. And don't worry, the install process is quite simple and will work for all the free mouse cursors on this website. First, you will need to log in to DeviantArt to access the free download option. Once logged in, hit the download button and the cursor zip will pop up. You can then drag this to your desktop, which if your icons are hidden, you can either show your icons again or just find it in your file explorer in the desktop section. Once you find a zip, just right click and extract it to a folder. When you open the folder, depending on the cursor, there will be a dark and light version that you can choose from, so pick the one that you like. Next, you want to right click on the install file and click install to go through the prompts. Once the cursor pack is installed, a window will appear for your mouse properties. Make sure you're in the pointers tab, and under scheme, select the cursor that you just downloaded and click apply. Now you have a unique stylish cursor for your clean desktop. And remember, if you don't like the cursor, you can easily just swap back to the default mouse settings or just install a different one by following the same steps. And there you have it. If you start with a messy desktop, I hope these 5 simple steps helped you organize and transformed it into a clean, professional looking setup. And just like how I love my desktop, I hope you enjoyed a new look of yours as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, drop a like, and I might make a follow-up video featuring Rainmeter if people want to see that. But thanks for watching, and be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss out on my future content. My name's ProdiJay, and as always, stay classy.